101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good afternoon and welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts Fred and Janet Cox right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of the Liquid Green Health Show, Fred and Janet Cox.
And good afternoon. It's another Sunday afternoon, the 5th day of May. We're getting very close to summer. I'm looking forward to it. But today, it's kind of bleaky.
I feel like summer.
I don't. And,
Actually, it's good to be back.
I feel like the weather, it's cloudy. And, it's one of those days when you want to stay in bed all evening, all day. Good afternoon and welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show. To all of our listeners and viewers across Canada, this is the Liquid Green Health Show. We want to say thank you for allowing us into your private space. We hope that this show will help to steer you on an exciting journey towards a vibrant and a much more healthier lifestyle. We love your comments, so please send them in. Keep them rolling in via email. Send them to liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. That's liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. Let us know where you are listening from. And folks, if you're watching us on the live stream on YouTube, don't forget to hit and like those buttons, the subscribe, the share, and the like button. Please touch them up for us, right? And let us know where you're, excuse me, let us know what you think of our broadcast. Now, you can also check out all of our past shows on Spotify as well as YouTube. All you have to do is type in Liquid Green Health Show and everything will pop up. And yes, send us your comments. Send them to us because we want to read them. We want to hear what you have to say. And if you have any ideas of any show that you'd like to hear, just drop us an email at liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com and we'll respond to that. Mm-hmm. Now, the whole city is in mourning.
Yes.
Right? Our sun is still suffering.
Again.
Right?
Yeah.
He is still suffering from the trauma of losing a game.
The fans. But
I don't know how they go through it, man. I don't know.
Know the team so well. Kofi actually predicted from game one.
He did.
I think he should have actually put money on this because he said, this is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They lost the first game. They're down 3-1. He says, no, they're going to come back. They're going to win the next 3 days. And they're going to go to game 7. They're going to lead in game 7. And just before the end, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Game was tied up and then they go into overtime. And
the prescription is that, I don't know, Frederick, I think the Leafs, I keep saying.
You need to change the name from Leafs.
Because if you think of African spirituality,
mm-hmm.
and so many cultures that we don't know of out there, right? The naming of an entity is very important.
Very important.
I believe it's time the Leafs seriously take a look at the name Leafs. What happens? The leaves always get blown away.
In the fall, they get blown away.
Probably it should be the maple trunks.
I don't know.
Or the maple branch.
Or the tree trunk.
The maple, if they want to stick with maple.
Or the tree roots.
Where if the fans can feel like this, I wonder how the players feel.
Maybe that's why the weather is the way it is today. It's cloudy.
Year after year, season after. And Boston, when we thought, as a joke, we said how to get the Leafs to do better, just eliminate Boston from playing, right? Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we have a very interesting topic, something that you have chosen.
Yes,
And
I believe.
this is way above my pay grade, folks. So I'm just going to follow along. But it's interesting. The little snippets that I've heard and the little bit that I've read, it's interesting. It's all about the future, what the future is going to be like for humanity.
Is,
and it has to do with health. And
Mhm.
that's why we've chosen the topic. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, I don't know if I have that much of an interest in
Well,
it.
first of all, can we tell people what is this we're talking about? We're talking about biohacking.
Yeah.
And what does that have to do with longevity? It's a topic, we hear the buzzwords all the time, you know, and you know how this, I came up with the topic because in our family, a picture was circulated in our WhatsApp family group.
Oh, that's where you got the idea from?
Yes. And one of the picture was of my sister's husband, who is young in terms of chronological age. He is young. And when I saw the picture, I really thought, oh my goodness, he looks so much older than he really is. And I made a comment about it, and we joked about it, and she sent another picture. So he didn't really look that old. It was just a bad picture.
Yeah, it is.
But
it's how he took the
just
picture.
led me to start thinking about why is it that so many people, you and I are lucky. We go out and people, whenever we tell them the age, they're always surprised.
I'm going to stop telling them our age.
They're always guessing less, which is, I find that
Which is
flattering.
good. Yeah.
It's nice. But then sometimes when you guess, like I never like to anymore, I stopped doing it, to guess somebody's age, and then
You're not good at that.
you guess, you think you're guessing younger because you always get young.
You don't want to embarrass the person.
And then you say something and it's older, and it's like, oh my goodness, why did I even do that?
So let me
we're
tell them
talking about biohacking.
Yeah. Okay.
And what we can do right now today, with the technologies that exist to help us look better, live longer, feel better,
amazing.
Stop suffering.
It's amazing what we can do moving forward, because of the technology that's there, and people are now discovering things. So basically what biohacking is, it typically refers to the practice of using technology, biology, and self-experimentation to enhance or modify biological systems for various purposes, including improving health, performance, or longevity.
And the key word here is longevity. That's what we want to talk about today. Performance, we're not athletes, etc. Right? But everybody wants to improve health, because it's improving our health that's going to increase a better life, not a better lifespan, but a better health span.
Yes.
Because if I ask you,
and that's the key to it.
Do you want to live long? What do you consider living long?
I would love to live long, very long, but I don't want to do so under any kind of stress. I don't want to do so where I feel old in doing it, because there's a difference between aging and old.
Yes,
right?
That's right. Because aging is, everybody has to get old.
Everybody will age.
Yes, but you don't have to get old as you age, and it's almost like a dichotomy.
Precisely.
Right?
But when I say old, I don't want to age and look frumpy. You know, I don't want to age and you be in a position where you cannot enjoy life. You can't move around. So there's no agility in your movements or stuff. I don't want that to happen.
Okay. Do you know what they say, the best age to be? I'm going to ask Gary.
You're going to ask Gary?
Yes. So, there is an age.
They're not going to guess
that is the perfect age where people in this age range from one birthday to the next, they have 1 in 10,000 chances of living. So that means there's a 1 in 10,000 chance in the history of humans to date.
Yeah.
In modern times.
I was amazed when you told me what it was. I was shocked.
This is your ideal age, that chances are at this age, nothing is going to kill you. At least 1 in 10,000
Yeah.
chances. Do you know what age that is? Do you want to take a guess? I wonder if any of our
Gary
writers
and Mike, you want to take a shot at that?
or anybody writing in. I
Yeah.
wonder if
So
writing
your
in.
question basically is what age nothing would happen to you? Is that what you're asking?
Not that nothing will happen to you, but it's least likely that anything will happen to you from this birthday to the next.
Including death.
Uh,
Let me see if
so
you've got.
basically, the
No,
best age to be.
You know what? We should leave them when they answer. Don't give the answer, right?
Take a
Let's see
guess.
if anyone will
Anyone
write
gets-
in
Okay,
and give
and
a
guess.
guess. But
Okay.
take a shot at it. Okay. Now this.
So let's wait for the answer. What
Oh,
do you
yeah,
think?
sorry.
Mike, do you know? I don't
I'm
know.
guessing 35.
Okay, and Gary?
Write that down.
I think it's older than that.
Probably is.
Okay, let me say the question one more time, the situation. At this age, the chances of anything in modern history, this is the age that these people will live with the least chances of mortality. So they have the highest chance at this age to reach the next birthday. Okay.
I would say 75.
Okay.
And Mike, we have 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave the question open.
I'll come back to the
And
answer in a little
if
bit.
any one of our listeners would like to write in with that answer, the address is liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. Just send us your answer and we'll tell you if you're a winner or not. Okay.
It's not a competition, it's just a guess. So you were explaining biohacking, right?
Yeah. So continue with biohacking. This can involve a range of activities such as DIY biology experiments.
Mhm.
That's do-it-yourself biology experiments, genetic engineering,
Mhm.
nootropics. I've never heard about that.
Nootropics.
Right?
Yeah.
Nootropics.
Which is the stuff that you use to enhance your
Yeah.
brain cognitively.
Yeah.
That's what that's called.
Nootropics.
Nootropics.
Right. That's cognitive enhancers, as you said, right? Wearable technology. Well, I've
We
seen
did
that.
a show on
I've
that,
seen that
right?
around,
Mhm.
right? And lifestyle interventions.
Right, which means everything we do to intervene with our normal day-to-day activities
Hmm.
to enhance the quality of your life.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to talk through for the rest of the show.
And it goes on to say that biohacking often intersects with fields like biotechnology.
Of course, because that's where
neuroscience.
the technology comes in, right? So and we're at the birth right now, in 200 years from now.
Yeah.
The scientists then are going to look back on today's science at the doctors today and said, oh my goodness,
People
do you
actually
mean
yeah.
people actually died at 90?
Just like how we
You know,
look back now,
the
way back,
16th
and
century.
people who were living
Mhm.
to maximum 65 and 4 to 5 years,
Or
and they're dying.
kids were living
Yeah.
to maximum age 50
Yeah.
because people were dying of childbirth. They were dying of
Simple things,
that-
arthritis and all kinds of stuff.
back in the days when we look at how they used to extract a tooth, for example,
Mhm.
and the diseases that there was no vaccines, there was no,
Yeah, it's really, things have really come a long way. Plus,
mhm.
people shouldn't be surprised because we are in the age of we are in a technological driven age. We're in the age of Aquarius.
That's
And
right.
Aquarius, denotes that this is the age we're in, and this is going to be like that for the next, I don't know,
And age is what,
2,600
24?
years.
Well, we won't be around, but
That's every age. You move from Pisces into
Mhm.
Aquarius, and then you
Yeah.
go into a different. So that's what it is. Now, there's a term here, transhumanism,
right.
right? Do you know what that is?
Yes, it's as we say, there are some people. I'll throw out a name, and folks, if you don't, I've never heard about this guy until recently,
Mhm.
but he's a transhumanist.
Okay.
His name is Brian Johnson, and he is the extreme.
Mhm.
So his life's mission is to live as long as he can.
Is that the guy we were looking at
Yes,
today?
yes.
Yeah.
He wants to live as long as he can. And so it's not as if he wants to live forever, as some people say. What he wants to do is keep going so that he can live tomorrow.
But how many
and
people can
tomorrow
do that? Because
and tomorrow.
What he was showing us, he lives in an almost sterile condition.
He does.
He doesn't open the door too long.
He lives in a perfectly
Yeah.
balanced world, which is not normal.
Right.
But he's doing this as his gift to humanity. Because what he's saying is, if I can do this, therefore it can be done. So he's gone to the extreme. He's not expecting anybody to do this the way he has done it. But this is his life's mission right now. And I love it. Now, what you can do, and which is the point of this show, is we don't want to be a Brian Johnson, right? Most of us don't want to be.
But we can incorporate some of the things
That's the whole
that
point.
he's talking about.
What can
'Cause
we incorporate?
When I look in his closet, he has a pantry that is unconventional.
Yes.
Only supplements.
You talk
That's all.
about supplements. We talk about supplements all
But
the
he's
time.
gone to the extreme.
Because he's an extremist. This is what he's doing. Like, if you don't understand the mission,
Yeah.
it looks extremist. But he's doing this on purpose to prove, and he's doing this with all the doctors and the nurses and the scientists and the neuroscientists, and he has all the machines to check and measure. He's the most measured human being on the planet as to right now. And he's also very wealthy. He's rich and he has the money so he can afford the lifestyle.
He's
And
gone
his
as
son
far
is
as
actually
measuring his
working.
penis. He's
Yes.
put Botox in his penis and all kinds of.
He's done
That's
everything
really
to the
extreme.
extreme, so that so his technology is for the 25th century. It's not for what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So we take what, 15, 20 supplements a day? He takes over 100.
Yeah, he's
So
gone.
that's what we're talking about, right? But there are some things, Frederick, that so we were talking about the transhumanism. So that's an example of people who just want to try things on their own, or the scientists that want to do the experiments, etc., to see how we can use artificial intelligence, right? To see how we can use genetic engineering, things like that. And those are the things I want to talk about today, like stem cells and how we incorporate that. And some things are going to require a lot of money and some things don't. So the easiest things for us in terms of biohacking, what do you think? Give me 4 things off the top of your head that you would think, if you want to improve your health span, you should do these 4 things. Give me one.
I would say the first thing would be your diet. Start by changing your diet.
Okay. That's one of the top 4 for sure.
Right. And there are many different types of diets that you can try.
What else? Give me 4 things. Just name 4 things. Diet, what else?
Exercise.
Yes, what else?
Make sure you get good sleep.
Sleep.
Proper sleep. Sleep. I think sleep will be the number 1.
Yeah, from what we have been studying over the last couple of years, sleep seems to be the number 1 thing. Can you think of one more? Diet, exercise, sleep. And
don't get married.
I think. Are you sure that's not your number 1?
That should be number 1.
That should be your number one. For example. I know some people on the show would agree with you, and I'm sure that works both ways. But guess what? Women already outlive men.
What about gut health?
Everything. You gave me 4, and those were good. Gut health would go with your diet, right? But do you realize that women also live longer than men?
Yeah, that's obvious because you guys stress us out.
Okay, but do you know there's another reason?
Testosterone, low testosterone.
Well, again, what happens?
But that's because of the stress you guys put on us, or testosterone tends to go at an early age.
In terms of longevity, it seems so far that women have outlasted men. And it's not just because of the stressing them out, because men have actually...
We've gone to war more than women have.
Actually put men have actually put women through much more stress than the other way around. What do the women do? They take care of the home, they take care of the families, they present the meals, they do, all men do is...
But those are the normal functions of life if you have a family.
You go to war, and we're talking historically, we're not just talking in an isolated moment right now.
No, I'm talking about the nitpicking that causes our stress levels to go.
You're talking on a level.
That's not a minuscule thing. It may be minuscule. No, it may be minuscule to you.
Range of men and women.
But it raises your blood pressure because you guys never forget something and you keep bringing it up over and over and over. and it causes stress. When we lay things down, we lay it to rest. You guys lay it down so you could pick it up again.
So, folks, men traditionally have, you were right about the testosterone because we were discussing it earlier.
That's the main reason why your testosterone dropped.
No, it's not the main, it's not a reason. What this is, we're talking about now about biology.
Okay.
Right? So biologically in the body, right? Women tend to have stronger genes. The chromosomes, we do have two X, women gives the X chromosomes.
Yes.
So women have two X's and men have an X and a Y.
Yeah.
Of the combination, apparently the Y chromosome tends to be the weakest.
Okay.
All right. So if you think of somebody like yourself, you like to think you're tall, dark, handsome, strong,
all of those things,
smart, all the
keep
things
going,
you
keep going, go on.
right? And then guess what? It all gets passed to you from your mom's genes. The two X's is what gives you all of those qualities. Can you pass that on to your son? No. Has to be passed on by the mother. So folks, if you're a guy out there and you're happy for the way you look, feel, the way you present, your everything, thank your mom's genes. All right. It does differentiate differently because we know we get this different characteristics from each of them. But the gene structure apparently is one of the reasons why women biologically tend to outperform men in terms of longevity. Now, they also mentioned the what you call the testosterone. And what they found is that, you know, back in the days of court in Korea, that's one of the groups where if you were going to serve in the king's court, you could not, you had to be a eunuch. So they got rid of the testicles.
Yeah.
And they found out that those men are the men historically, the eunuchs, not just in that culture, but in other cultures, the eunuchs they lived longer than the kings who ate better, lived better, less stress, etc. Right? They even outlived women.
Okay.
Right? And so they're thinking there's probably something to do with the testosterone, but that's going to be the subject. That has to be the subject of another show, not today. So how are we doing? But for the regular normal things, you mentioned diet.
Yeah, I mentioned sleep as well.
Yes. So let's talk about diet. What would you say? Give me some important things. Why is diet so critical?
Because you have to get the proper nutrients in the body.
Yeah.
And depending on the type of foods you eat, some of them are more nutrient dense than others. And if the body is not getting the proper nutrients, then the cells cannot function properly.
Exactly.
And that could cause a breakdown in, you know, various things.
So you know what? One of the easiest things to do for people who want to live longer is to eat better.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is to, instead of just giving up something. So instead of doing the burgers and fries every day or frequently.
But that's not real food.
It's not real food.
It's not real food. Those are pleasure comfort.
The packaged goods,
Yeah.
the processed foods.
And the oils and all
the bad milk, everything, right? So food is one of the areas that we can extremely quickly change.
Maybe we should do another show on that, you know, because there's so many nuances. There are so many nuances and misconceptions of the type of foods and the diets, and you know whether this milk is good or that milk is good. So
you know what? If you talk to 10, if you look at 10 scientists, and each of them good, each of them accredited, you're gonna get
a different answer. Yeah.
So this is one of the areas where there's so much flexibility. But one thing is known for the diet is two things, actually. You have your micronutrients and you have your macronutrients.
Yeah.
And it's the micronutrients that are most important. So what they've figured out is that the medical science, the problem with medical science and doctors and hospitals and the way they teach doctors seems to be they never go after they never go after the cause.
Yeah.
They go after the symptom and they try to fix it once it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
If you go to your doctor, like me right now, and I said to my doctor just this week, I have an issue. I am trying to be proactive because I go to the pool and I see the people who have had the knee surgery, the hip surgery, the back issues, lupus. We talk to people at the pool, right? And there is a problem that had they known about it before could have been addressed so it didn't have to get to the knee surgery. If you change your eating much earlier,
yes.
then you don't need, you're going to lose weight, you're going to exercise and do the right things. So the micronutrients are the most important. They said vitamin D that we talk about all the time.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The vitamins and the minerals are the first place. Folks, if you want to live longer, if you want to do the right thing for yourself, you go and you check and you make sure that your minerals and vitamins are optimal.
Especially a vitamin D.
Especially vitamin
Especially
D. Actually, vitamin D with A, with K,
Yeah.
right? Those are the ones. But do you want to take a break and see if we have any emails?
Yeah. Let me go before I go to the email. Let me just tell our listeners, folks, you're listening to the Liquid Green Health Show on Reality Radio 101, and we are we're asking our listeners and viewers to please, if you're watching us on YouTube, just hit that like and subscribe button as well. Send us an email. Let us know where you're listening from. You can send it to, along with your comments, send it to liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. That's liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And I think we have some email. Let me just take a quick look, open up this page and see who wrote in. Here's one from that's the dare boy. That's the big dare. Daredevil. It says, "Hi LG. I'm a big believer in vitamins and supplements. I am 32 years old, and here's a photo of me. P.S. I'm married."
And the picture is of a man who is about 102 years old. Okay. So he listened to you and he thinks this is funny.
Thank you very much for that one, Dave. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
We got one that came in earlier, prior to the show, and for the life of me, I can't find it.
This one? She? That's where you could start.
Yeah, no, not that.
She mentioned things to do in Toronto. Actually, today, we missed that. Today was a big, big, big day in Toronto.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to biohack, you should have been in the marathon, because one of the things to do is to run or exercise anyway, right?
Yeah.
And apparently marathoners live long.
So they say.
Because that's one of the strategies when you want to do best for the body biologically.
They probably live long in pain because with all that running, the toll it takes on your ankles and your knees and joints. Now here's one from Steve, and Steve says, "Hello, Liquid Green. Welcome back to Janet. We love you here in Victoria, BC, and we have learned a lot from you. Great education. The Leafs suck."
Oh, coming from somebody in BC. And I'm going to say thank you, Steve, for the welcome back, because as I was saying last week, Frederick made out.
Tell the truth.
Yes, and that's what I'm doing. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because Fred was sick for about a week. He was sick from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
And he was.
That part is true.
Just when you started feeling better, I, being the caretaker, I got sick. And mine started Friday. Yeah. So I was out Friday, Saturday. By Sunday, I was feeling much better.
But you were still sick.
But my voice was not. My voice was.
It means you weren't 100%.
I wasn't 100%.
It means you were sick.
I wasn't sick.
You were.
I wasn't as
so
sick
why
as
didn't
you
you
made
come on the
it.
show?
I wasn't.
All I said to them.
Excuse me,
all
I'm
I
speaking. You made it sound as if, we were both sick, and here I am, I'm better, I'm back, but Janet's still sick.
But that's not what they heard. They never heard that.
That's what I heard when I listened to you. So I thought, thanks, Steve, for reminding me that I needed to say that. Okay.
Anyway, Gail, thank you for your email. Gail says, you want to read that?
Go ahead.
Gail says, hi to the Coxes. The best way to stay healthy is simple. Listen to the Liquid Green Health Show each and every week. It is the truth. The things that you can learn from the Coxes. Great show. We're visiting relatives here. Oh, they're in Paris. They're in Paris, France today. They're visiting relatives in Paris, France.
Right. Oh, that's where my sister lives.
Yeah.
Great. So
Great. Thank you. Thank you very
love
much for
Paris.
that. Yeah. And Fred says 100 years old for my answer. Do I get a prize?
Actually,
Right.
guess what? Okay, let's see if anybody else had that.
Yeah.
I think I read my answer, the thing wrong.
You did?
Go ahead.
No, you
Go
didn't.
ahead.
No, you
Go
didn't.
ahead.
And Brita says, I say the age for the answer is 25. Who knows? Now I'm going to eat some Oreo cookies. Sorry, Fred. Why do they have to put my name? Why do they have to associate my name with cookies? You're the one that started this.
Yeah.
I don't eat cookies anymore, folks. Well, not a lot.
Not just, you mean you've graduated. Now he's into biscuits, not Oreos.
Well,
Okay.
and Brad says, hi, Health Show. We are listening to you from Port Perry, Ontario.
Oh,
Interesting topic today.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I hope the weather is a lot better than it looks here out in Port Perry. I don't know what kind of weather we're having here, but I just don't like it.
We do have 3 guesses then about the age.
Yeah.
So the answer was 10 years old.
10?
10 years old. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's not even a newborn, because as a newborn, you could have been born with some kind of defects, congenital defects. You could have been born with a thing wrapped around your neck. There are so many issues as a newborn.
So you're saying it's a healthy person, healthy child born.
So for someone, the age in modern history, from the time we've started checking to now,
yeah,
if you're 10 years old, chances are nothing will prevent you from seeing your 11th birthday.
Wow.
You have a 1 in 10,000 chances, right?
That's amazing.
Of making your 10th birthday, your 11th birthday. After that, things change again, because guys,
stress steps in.
Puberty starts soon after, right? And once puberty starts, men and women again, they're about this equal till puberty, and then the guys, they just take off and start doing a whole lot of crazy stuff, and therefore puberty tends to be it will help you to decrease your life expectancy.
Wow.
Right? Even insurance companies know this.
Well, they're masters. They're masters of keeping information on you. I don't think any company or organization other than the banks, I think insurance companies have more data on people than anybody else.
They are the best in terms
they're the
of
masters of it.
What do you
predicting your
life
expectancy. Yes.
They can predict.
But they have to. That's the business. They're in the death business.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is.
And therefore, when other companies go out of business,
they don't.
Even COVID.
Yeah, not the COVID, during the crash. Not one single insurance company went down.
That's right.
Why? Because they have the money, you know. They
have done the research and they can figure it out.
Yeah.
Now, so you gave me a couple of things. You had said diet, which we talked about.
The next one was sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep, as we say, is one of the most important, right? Yeah. Because if you don't get enough sleep, and it's one of the most challenging.
Lack of sleep ages you. I mean, just look at someone who haven't slept for 24 hours or even longer. Shift workers, for example.
Yeah.
You could see the stress on their faces.
As a matter of fact, they equate lack of sleep to the same as being drunk, as inebriation.
Yeah.
Right? So the same measures that biologically, the more when you're not getting enough sleep,
you tire the cells out. The cells in the body are tired, and they need a break.
And the whole thing about aging is there's something, I can never say the word right. Senescence.
Senescence, I think. Senescence.
Senescence. And senescence is what it's all about. It means, it's a term they use in biology, and It describes the process, okay, by which cells lose their ability to divide and grow. And ultimately, this leads to the death of the cells. Now, what I've learned is that cells will divide about 50 times without a problem.
Right.
And after that, then they stop, they die, they commit suicide, or they just go to sleep.
And then
Right.
they clog up certain parts of the body because all of those cells, they're not always being discarded through
That's right.
whatever
So their
means.
normal function, what they would normally do, they stop doing this during what they call senescence, all right? And this can be beneficial for some in some contexts, such as, cancer.
Yes.
What is cancer? Is when you have the proliferation of cells, too many, and they're growing at this extraordinary
And
rate. So it becomes
large
a
cluster.
problem.
They become a large
Right?
cluster in the body. Yeah.
And of course, so it's good when that's what chemo is all about, trying to kill these cells, trying to get them to commit suicide, except it does,
It gets both the good and bad
the
cells.
good and the bad, right? Now, they can also, this is how it works in anti-aging. It's here it is. However, senescent cells can also accumulate over time and contribute to aging and age-related diseases by secreting, what do we talk about? The
Inflammation.
Big word? Inflammation, the inflammatory molecules and other factors that disrupt tissue function and provide inflammation. So there is something, I told you about this machine. I want to check it out. There's something called it's the photobiomodulator.
Is that the same as the red light machine?
The red light therapy.
Red light,
right.
Okay.
And
it sounds interesting.
I know you said that.
Yeah, I
that's
definitely. That's going to be. I'm going to check that out. I like what I read about it.
So
it's nice.
Go now.
I'm willing to try it.
People know that there are things out there they can do that's simple.
Yeah.
To help extend life without a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right? So with this machine, I went on Amazon, I went online, and we were checking.
Yeah, we check it out.
There's there's a modulator. You can put your hand in it.
There's one for the brain. There's one for the brain, one for the eyes.
On different things, because with the red light, they actually isolate certain of the rays, of the X-rays, right?
So there's no UV, there's no UV light.
No UV, nothing that's detrimental. And then they harness. So when you have senescence and the cells are dormant, then the light therapy will help to revive them, and so they can continue to work and do the stuff that they were designed
like
to
recharging the battery.
That's exactly what it is.
That's basically what it is.
And so this is what they're saying with dementia. They're now working on the machine, and this guy Brian Johnson, he uses it. There's a thing you can put on your head for a few minutes. It's not long. It's like 5-10 minutes a day, right? And that helps the cells in the brain to work optimally.
So it's all about energy.
It's all about energy. It's all about the mitochondria in the cells, and how do we get them from breaking down. One of the most awesome things I heard during this research was, if you had a burn, let's say somebody had a burn for 20 years and you have that ugly scar, it's unbelievable that there's now technology that you can use to get rid of the scarring from that burn from so many years ago. And that's when we get into the whole world of stem cells.
And that sounds plausible, because what's causing that scar, it's a bunch of dead cells that is in that area.
So
and you need to get rid of it.
Exactly. And what do? They have to almost irritate it so that the life underneath becomes agitated, right? So they use dry brushing, and they brush till it's not irritated to the point where it's sore, but it has to renew. It has to be in a situation where it can be renewed. So and that's what the stem cells do.
So if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, it's just a mode of activating potential energy. in the body, because potential energy is just potential. It's there, but you can do a lot to activate. It wouldn't do anything unless it's activated.
Exactly.
Right? That's
right.
basically what
Right.
it is.
So,
Right?
as
So you
long
have
as
to
it's dead and
activate.
dormant,
Yeah.
nothing will happen.
It's
But if
it's not dead, it's
activated,
potential. It's in a state of potentiality. So you have to activate it
yes.
before it can do anything.
Right. And now when you talk about stem cell therapy and gene modification and some of those things that are now current that you can actually, if you have the money, it's not going to be offered through your local hospital. You're going to have to go to one of these clinics.
And you're not going to get it through OHIP.
LA. You're not going to get this through LA. And some of these techniques can cost thousands of dollars, right? But if you had the money, let's say you had $20,000 to spend on so many
Little gadgets.
cc's of stem cell that will help you to get rid of Alzheimer's, your back
My
pain,
sciatica problem,
sciatica,
definitely.
you
Yes,
would?
yes, I
right?
would.
And this
Because
is what
who wants to live with that pain? Sciatica pain hits you, it's like it's detrimental, man. No way. I would do anything to get rid of it.
exactly. And this is what's happening. The folks
But
with
it's
the
just that
money,
it's very expensive
the
right now.
folks with the money they're getting into this.
Yes.
But guess what? Time, right? Time is going to make a difference, because some of these technologies that are new now, it's going to be so commonplace in another 5 years, 10 years. We're going to see so many things that you won't. Look at cryotherapy, the cold water therapy.
Yeah.
Look at all the things that are available. Right now, it's just that in the Western countries, the concern is ethics.
Yes.
Ethically, we have to decide, do you want to kill babies or use newborn embryos? It's illegal to do that, right? In the States, and I'm assuming also in Canada, and I'm sure in Europe, right? But if you use the umbilical cord of when a woman gives birth and that the genes taken from the umbilical cord, that is what they're using in stem cell technology.
No, they're doing it for animals right now.
They've tested it.
They're doing
It's now
plants,
in humans.
Stem cells.
It's
from plants
legal.
use, yes.
It's legal because, do you know, the stem cells, what happens is your body has certain types of cells. And if we could go to it, I'd like to just go through that a little bit.
Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, where the body has different types of cells. And there's the adult cells, for example, let's say a liver cell.
Yes.
When you were born as a baby, how many cells did we start out with in life?
I don't know, trillions.
No, in the very beginning, we started with just one cell. And that one cell divided into two, and then we know what happens, right? Now, this happens, and it continues to happen. But at some point, each cell knows that I am going to be a brain cell, I will be a liver cell, I will be a kidney cell.
They all have designated duties, designated positions to be in the body, and so they go there.
The amazing thing, honestly, I wish I was much younger and I could go back and probably I'd go and try and study this research, because what I find fantastic is that a cell, when you get a cut, all right, the cells, the finger cells there, all right, for lack of a better term, they know that work has to be done.
Yes.
And before the inflammation sets in, all the cells rush in,
gather around and
make sure that's
that area.
Care of.
Yeah.
But guess what? Cells can come from other parts of the body that are the floaters. They're not designated. Like when you have heart surgery, it's not just the heart cells that's going to help fix the problem in just a few weeks. There are these other cells that come and then they decide, okay, now I am needed as a heart cell.
Yes.
And so a proliferation of those cells will go to help fix whatever the situation is, whether it's your liver or a kidney or a lung transplant or whatever.
That is a perfect example of corporativism.
Exactly. That's where it came from,
right? And that's the term, in the African culture, there's a phrase where you say it takes a village to raise a child. That is a perfect example. Everybody knows every cell in the body knows that, hey, something is happening down the road, down at the legs.
Yeah.
We got to help, right? The
And,
emergency, the emergency force just kicks in and they rush to help.
And one of the other things that's amazing is that the body, we know the body regenerates. We're
Yes.
talking about longevity. Do you know the skin? The skin is the
Largest organ.
it's the one that ages fastest.
Yes.
Right? It's the largest, it's the one. It's
Because it's
of all the
exposed to
organs,
everything.
That's right.
It's exposed to every single
The
thing.
front,
It's the-
it
yeah.
takes the brunt of everything
Yeah.
that comes in,
Mhm.
right? And they say as a baby, it's about 14 days for the skin to rejuvenate. Can you believe it? Only 14 days. As a teenager, it's 28 days, and as an adult, it's about 50 days. When you're old, like you,
What do you mean like me? What's the nonsense? What are you pointing to
for
me?
old people, it's about
Why
80
me?
About
Well,
eight.
no.
Well, you're old, but you look good.
No,
I'm
but,
not saying you don't
no,
look
but
good, but you're old.
no,
You're
but why tell the
older.
world? Why tell the world?
Listen,
What's this?
biologically, they start calling old from age 50. So, at 20, you have your 2 score years and 10 plus some. So we're doing pretty good, right? So it is amazing how the human body can work on its own.
It's
And
amazing.
now it's given some help. That is what
So that's what they did.
longevity-
The technological
Mhm.
improvements. That is what is
That
going
is
to
what
happen.
AI.
Yeah.
AI is going to help,
Yeah.
and it's going to just think of things like
It's a-
IBS.
It's a yeah. Go ahead. No, but
Go
it's a combination of everything that we've mentioned: sleep, diet, exercise is a very important thing.
Right.
And it's a combination of all those things that will enable people in the future to live healthier, longer, better quality of life.
That's right. And as we were talking about the cells, one of the most important things of the cells in the body is what's formed in your blood marrow.
Yes.
Right? And the red blood cells, it says, as you age gracefully, whether or not you age gracefully, you're going to end up with less cells working efficiently. Right?
Yes.
By the age 30, this is incredible. 30-year-olds think they're young. Okay. By age 30, 90% of red bone marrow loss occurs.
Wow. By
That's
age 30.
by age 30.
So that's when you really start going downhill.
You start going down.
At age 30.
I guess after 10, you
Well,
start going
I mean, look in the world of sports. The minute you hit 30, 35, you're considered old.
Yes. So stem cells, the ones that can go and do and work and do everything.
Yeah.
If you're sick, you will have half the amount that a healthy person will have. All right. And of course, as you age, you'll get much less. Okay.
Now, a lot of research is being done in
Mhm.
this field when it comes to stem cell therapy. Major universities are conducting cells
Yes.
in this field, and it just shows how important, how far thinking scientists are.
Yeah.
And that information is slowly being triggered down. You have doctors that have basically moved away from the regular medical profession of treating people, and they're focusing on the advancement of human life.
Yeah.
They're studying these things in detail, and that information is slowly coming out. And it's only a matter of time, like you said, maybe in another 5, maybe 10 years, it's going to become commonplace for someone to go to a doctor, and instead of treating them with conventional type of medicine,
Right.
they can say, okay, why don't you try this?
Yes.
Governments are going to be forced to accept it and, excuse me, and start in some cases covering these treatments because that is the age in which we live now.
And when we see, they already know.
Yeah.
But it's just that it's not perfected. And they need, for example, the whole thing, like the stem cell therapy is one of the biggest areas.
Yeah.
So I'd like to spend just a little bit more time on that because it really involves using these stem cells to repair damaged tissue, to replace, to regenerate tissues anywhere in the body. Okay. Think of it, you have a car accident and your spleen is badly damaged. With the proper use of stem cell therapy, they will be able to help the healing process much faster, right? So we talked about the embryonic stem cells, which is, it's not legal to use that right now because it's
still in the early stage. Yeah.
Right. But of course, that would be the best because that's the most pristine in terms of the cells. But there's another type of cell, and I'm going to call the word, it's pluripotent stem cells, induced pluripotent stem cells, iPSC. And folks, you can look this up. You can Google this. These are generated by reprogramming the cells that are already adults, such as your skin cells, right? They offer the advantage of a patient-specific stem cell without being concerned about where the cell's coming from. Okay. So it's when it comes to treating disease, for drug screening, for, you know, any of the personalized methods that we have to use to help regenerate old tissue, old skin, old organs, etc.
So something like this will be used in the example you gave. Somebody has a burn.
Yes, or a car accident or whatever.
Okay.
Any kind of illness, any kind of a disease, right? Then there's also the mesenchymal stem cell, the MSCs. And these are also adult stem cells. And these ones are found, we talked about the bone marrow.
Yeah.
Because that's why drinking, you know, they talk now, what's the biggest, one of the big buzz things, bone marrow soup.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Very expensive, but very nutritious and very good because the bone marrow from the cow making the soup or from the animal, the goat, whatever, will help with us.
I wonder how someone who is vegan, how would they respond to that?
Well, that's an issue with veganism because certain things can only come from the animal.
Precisely.
And therefore...
And they're not going to...
Yes. You know. But, you know, again, if you talk to the scientists, they have, they can justify.
Yeah. But I think when it comes down to a life and death situation, is the individual will have to make the choice.
Right.
You know.
So the MSCs, they also help with repair of damaged tissue.
Cartilage.
Yes.
Bone cartilage and stuff like that.
And inflammation. Okay. And finally, again, also found in bone marrow, and remember I mentioned the umbilical cord, right? In the blood of the umbilical cord, it's the HSCs, and these are the hematopoietic stem cells, HSCs for you know, and these ones.
Where do they come for these big words?
I know.
Why they can't just name it like Fred or Janet or something like that? They're easy to pronounce, man.
And these types of cells, we're talking about the stem cells, right? These are the ones that give rise to blood cell types, and they're used primarily in the treatment of blood disorders. Okay, for people who have issues with blood clotting or if you need a transfusion, etc. So there's a stem cell for every kind of
every condition, every issue that you're going to have in the body. For every treatment, there is a stem cell that can correct it, and that's the beauty of it. And it's all about energizing those cells, giving the cells the right nutrient, the right energy, and it will do its work.
Exactly. So there is also the neural stem cells, and that's as a name denotes, they use these stem cells if you have injury to the nervous system, to the central nervous system, right? These are the cells that they will use, and they're hoping that for treating neurological conditions such as if you fell off a horse.
Wow.
Or if you had
a stroke,
broken, you know, Any kind of injury to the spinal cord.
Degenerative disease, you can
That's
fix that.
what. So it is amazing. And finally, the endothelial progenitor cells, the EPCs, these are involved in the formation of new blood vessels. So think of the angiogenesis, right? When you need to rebuild, what's one of the biggest causes of death right now? It's cardiovascular.
Yeah.
Because our the blood vessels are damaged, they're clogged, they're cleaning, they shrink, they're broken, they're tattered, whatever. So these kind of stem cells may be used in those kind of therapies, right? So it is just
it's amazing with what's coming, folks. This is and that's why it some people may say, well, I don't want to live long, because of whatever reason, but it is good if you can live a long, healthy life and you can experience these technologies that's coming and you're aware of what's happening, you can avoid a lot of complications as time goes on.
So if you're really, truly interested in biohacking, and hacking sounds draconian, but think of it, the people who hack your computers, right? The people who hack your bank account, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So think of it now, if we can actually put that kind of determination into our own biology and decide what do we need to do to be optimal.
Well,
we mentioned simple things, the sleep we talked about, the diet, even something as simple as intermittent fasting, which we have already spoken about on a show, right? So
it's interesting, I never paid a lot of attention to the research that you were doing, but it certainly have piqued my interest listening to this. Like that, I mean, it's pretty good. Let me just touch on a few more email before we close the show. Here's one from Harry, and he says, "Great show today, Coxes."
Thank you, Harry.
And I'm not sure where Harry is listening from, but Tim says, "Coxes, interesting topic today. What daily supplements do you recommend? Thank you."
Okay.
Well, it all depends on your situation.
Even if you have no situation. I would say one of the ones that you cannot go without, vitamin D, vitamin D3, and the omega-3s.
Yes.
Because those are essential because your body does not produce the omega-3s. You need vitamin D from the sun, and it's produced in the body. So if we had to just say, and your micronutrients, you need to check on your potassium, your zinc, your manganese, those ones, right? But you can do the test. There's a test called DNA methylation, and that will actually tell you, again, I don't know where the research, I have to now go into the Canadian clinics and try and find out. Where do we get some of the tests that we're talking about? Right? How do you really check? Some things check your telomeres.
You'll have to ask the doctor, and unfortunately, you may have to pay for some of them.
You will definitely have to pay for some of them, right? But from your regular blood test, you're going to get the regular things.
Yes.
Right? They're going to tell you, but to tell you the length of your telomeres, the telomeres apparently in your DNA structure is the longer your telomeres, the longer you're going to live.
Yes.
If they're short, if you're sick, they're shortened, right? And there are things you can do to hack into that, to extend your telomeres. It is so fascinating.
And that's what the technology is all about. That's what hacking is all about.
So here's the deal. What we need to do is to just try and live long. As if you're on Earth right now, try and live a little longer, so that we're going to be able to benefit from all the new advances and techniques that are on the horizon. And with that, I say thank you.
And let me just read this email from Anne. This is funny. Anne says, "Hi, welcome back, Janet. Welcome back to Janet. That question was very misleading and hard to understand. But hey, we love the liquid green. So Fred is on a biscuit. Is on a biscuit kick, huh? These are the biscuits that I am eating. They are sugar-free."
Oh, they don't look sugar-free.
Nah, they don't look sugar-free. And
delicious
I'm
chocolate biscuits.
I'm gonna take the one that has a little bit of sweet in it.
And I agree with you. I did not do the best job in explaining that question. But
But it was interesting.
yeah,
It was fun.
but I totally, hopefully after we gave the answer, hopefully it was
Right.
better understood.
Folks, I'm hearing the music in the
Yeah.
background. That
Already?
means it's time for us to say goodbye to you. This has been wonderful. And I want to say thank you to our producers, both Mike and to Gary.
Mhm.
And folks, you can drop us a line at the Liquid Green Health Show at gmail.com. And please, if you want to check out our products, you can go to Liquid Green Health Show liquidgreenhealthshow.com. And remember, good health is at the core of human joy and overall well-being. Its influence is profound, extending beyond loyal personal vitality to significantly bolster prosperity and economic advancement. Thus, the investing in your health is akin to investing in a brighter, more prosperous future for ourselves and the communities in which we live. So until next Sunday, same time, same station, prioritize your well-being. This is Janet and Fred saying, let's stay healthy on Reality Radio 101. Have a good week.
Thank you for listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts, Fred and Janet Cox, right here on Reality Radio 101.